Hi everyone, welcome to Token Topics. XRP and XLM are the topics. MoneyGram opens up cross-border payments to Chile using Stellar. Coinbase sues the SEC and John Deaton comments. If you're an XRP or XLM fan, you don't want to miss this. I'm going to cover this and more. Please do hit the like and subscribe, and remember, I'm not a financial advisor. With that out of the way, let's begin. Security is imperative. You must keep your assets safe. You have to, or else there's no point of even investing. So two major vulnerabilities on iOS and Mac OS endanger private keys. This is a big security announcement. Last week, Apple updated all of its OS or operating systems. The purpose was to fix two major security issues that were allowing hackers to access the root commands without any permission. The meaning for crypto enthusiasts using Hot Wallet here was not much security if the device was infected. So it's very important to keep it on a hardware wallet. Now, if you're just starting out, a hot wallet or a software wallet, that's fine. But if you've been using it for a while and you feel comfortable keeping your private keys, you really should move up to a hardware wallet. DCENT offers not only the free hot wallet version, but they also offer the biometric hardware wallet, which if you don't have one by now, you should get one. There's no better security than a hardware wallet. If you are interested, I'll put affiliate links in the description. First, I'd like to start with some quick Stellar news. This is awesome. Franklin Templeton announces the Franklin On-Chain U.S. Government Money Fund surpasses $270 million in assets under management. So on Monday, Franklin Templeton made the announcement. The fund's transfer agent maintains the official record of share ownership via a proprietary blockchain integrated system that currently utilizes the Stellar blockchain network for transaction activity. The fund is the first U.S. registered fund to use a public blockchain to process transactions and record share ownership, and is available via the Benji investment app. And if somebody's wanting to know more about the fund, so the fund reflects a meaningful integration between blockchain technology and traditional financial systems, demonstrating the potential for increased interoperability in the financial system. This innovative investment vehicle motivated by the Stellar Development Foundation to further diversify its treasury by making multi-million-dollar investment into the fund. If you'd like to learn more, I'll put the link to the article down below. More good news. Now, this is great for the Stellar blockchain, the whole network. Stellar partner launches cross-border payment solution in Chile. Stellar partner MoneyGram International has launched the MoneyGram online MGO service in Chile. According to a press release today, residents in Chile can utilize the solution to send money from the country to friends and family worldwide. And just to recap, under the partnership, MoneyGram Networks integrated with Stellar blockchain to enable cash funding and payout in local currencies for consumers using USD coin. All right, let's go ahead and check out the first Stellar Development Foundation quarterly webinar of the year. And they state that they're off to a good start, a strong start, with a new roadmap to guide 2023. Three building blocks are make innovation easy and scalable, win over builders, and focus on utility to build trust. Let's learn more.
Justin, you mentioned that Stellar processed over 1 billion operations last quarter. Could you speak to the scaling solutions that Stellar has in mind and how this number will be influenced when it goes up to 100x, for example?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. As I mentioned before, like scaling is definitely there are a lot of potential solutions, but in terms of which one is actually the right solution, no one in the industry has a totally clear answer yet. The two things that I talked about, which were Bucket List DB and Pull Mode, both allow for increasing the headroom for scaling on the layer one. So Stellar itself, the ledger itself, can handle more transactions, and there's still more optimization that we can do on that level, right? But then the question is, like, once you get to a really high number of transaction, like a really high transaction volume, you do start to need to think about what you should be writing to the ledger itself and what you should be doing in other ways. And I'll say that one thing that we have worked on and released a prototype for, which is called Starlight, is payment channels. And I think that there are a lot of interesting solutions, and I won't get into them, 1 hop, 2 hop, multi-hop payment channels that will make it so that you can build different models that allow you to execute have a really high volume of transactions and execute them in batches on the network. But then the other thing that I think we will start to see is with Soroban, it starts to open up the potential for all different kinds of layer 2 solutions, including, zero knowledge proofs and optimistic rollups and these kinds of things. So I think for us, there's increasing the layer 1 scalability. There's also payment channels, and then there's also the new kinds of technologies that Soroban will open up. And all of that is stuff that I feel like I can see it starting to come together to solve a problem that when it comes, I think we'll be ready to deal with it.
If you are new to Stellar, you might ask, what is Starlight? So back in 2021, December to be exact, they came out with Starlight, a layer 2 payment channel protocol for Stellar. And what I personally think that really makes Starlight stand out is that it's capable of going over 1 million transactions per second between two users. That's pretty incredible.
Stellar is processing 1 billion operations. So we are operating at a pretty high scale. So it's not like we have a scalability problem today that we have to deal with. Today, we are processing at scale. So these are future problems with future solutions that I'm pretty excited to see built.
Yeah, and right now the operations are sort of hard-coded in terms of the number of operations for each ledger. So I think that that's another piece that we can work through. I'll just say this, because everything Justin said is covering like the different components of what we're working towards. But David Mazieres, who is the founder of the Stellar Consensus Protocol, he has every single time that I meet with him, which is once a week, the first thing he starts with is, what are we doing on scalability? And it's not because we need to focus on it like today, because we have a problem today, but his thing is always to look out to the future. So it is a really important thing. And every single week I talk to him about the different issues. The reason why we can do payment channels is because we implemented the proposals in already to the network to make it so that it's easy for these kinds of things to be built. And then it's using the protocol, what's in the protocol already, to be able to see what we need to do. So it is on our mind constantly. It's not on our mind because we're in any kind of a jam impact situation, because we're not. But because David asks me every week, I think about it constantly.
Stellar is having another busy year. Another consensus is that they are at consensus. They state that we're so happy to be on the show floor and can't wait to connect with all of you. As you can see, it's a pretty busy event. They had quite a few things come out of this event. Just yesterday, Chairman Head of UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, they had a panel discussion on crypto in real life for real-world use cases. And today, Danielle Dixon is going to have a discussion on using blockchain and Web3 for humanitarian causes. It has been an exciting week for crypto around the world, especially out of Europe. Just last week, the European Parliament has officially approved MiCA. Now, why is this important? Well, MiCA provides clarity on regulatory framework, and this is going to help move crypto along throughout the world. So there is nothing worse for businesses than uncertainty. So this clarity can help crypto businesses understand their obligations and work towards compliance. Also, protection for consumers. MiCA aims to protect consumers from fraud and scams. This improves trust in the markets and reduces the risk of investors losing money. Also, improved compliance. MiCA requires crypto asset service providers to register with national regulators and comply with anti-money laundering and counterterrorism rules. Also, standardization. MiCA introduces a standardized regulatory framework for crypto industry across the EU. Now for some big news that broke out earlier this week. Coinbase sues the SEC after months of silence from federal regulator. Coinbase took legal action against the SEC on Monday, asking a federal judge to force the regulator to share its answer on Coinbase's July 2022 petition on whether existing securities rulemaking process could be extended to the crypto industry. The 2022 petition didn't receive a specific public response from the SEC, which has pursued a spate of enforcement actions against individuals and entities in the crypto industry. Coinbase was the subject of a Wells notice from the SEC in March, a formal warning that an enforcement action against the exchange could be expected. They are a bunch of snakes. They really are. It's like they bait people, they don't give clear rules to the road, and then they stab them in the back. Shortly after, John Deaton states that he's excited that Coinbase filed a second lawsuit in crypto against the SEC. So Ripple advocate and prominent crypto attorney John Deaton has revealed that he is supporting a recent lawsuit that the American crypto exchange Coinbase filed against the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. XRP holds strong as top 3 cryptocurrency on major Korean exchange. The XRP token has maintained its position as one of the most traded cryptocurrencies on Upbit, South Korea's largest exchange. The token's trading volume reached 600 million on Upbit alone in late March, as was reported by You Today. The latest data from CoinMarketCap shows that XRP still commands 8.5% of Upbit's 1.7 billion in trading volume, making it the 3rd largest crypto on the exchange. Next, XRP suddenly plunges to 0 on Bitrue. What is going on? So this event just happened yesterday. So some of the users took to Twitter, Bitrue users, they took to Twitter to share screenshots of a devastating wick. Wow. Check out that wick. That is sickening. Wow. Now, there's a lot of people that use Bitrue, even in the US. So I can see why this would upset a lot of people. So Bitrue went ahead and made a statement. They stated that we experienced a technical glitch in our system, which led to certain orders of XRP being placed with incorrect prices and quantities. Bitrue states that they are rectifying the situation, that they're reimbursing people their margin amounts and reversing their trades. Alright, XRP fans, this is fresh off the press. Here's the Q1 2023 XRP markets report. Things are looking great. Total XRP sales by Ripple in Q1 2023 net purchases were 361 million plus versus 226.31 million the previous quarter. That's a significant increase, big time. XRP Ledger on-chain activity remains strong with decentralized exchange volumes increasing 34%. And average daily volume on centralized exchanges jumped 46%. The EU, UK, and UAE proposed new regulatory regimes for crypto focus on licensing and activity-based frameworks. And this is huge right here. Developers propose a new interoperability standard, XLS 38D, for the XRP Ledger that would enable users to transfer digital assets and data between blockchains regardless of underlying protocol or programming language. That's huge. I'll put the link to this down below, but you can check out the number of new wallets, trust lines, transactions, everything. Ripple is helping to pave the way for a sustainable future. From Ripple's corporate commitment to achieving carbon net zero by 2030 to exploring ways blockchain can have a positive impact on climate change, let's go ahead and learn more.
Hey, I'm Reinhard Kate, and welcome to episode 30 of the Ripple Drop. We've got Ripple's head of impact, Ken Weber. He's going to talk about all things climate, carbon markets, and sustainability. So, as the head of Ripple Impact, what's its mission?
Ripple Impact has a broad mission, and I'm really excited about all of it. First and foremost, we're focused on empowering our employees to get involved in impact through volunteering and giving and purpose-driven projects. We're also very committed to research and innovation. We have partnerships with more than 50 universities worldwide who are modifying courses and engaging in research and technical development and career development around financial technologies. That's part of the University Blockchain Research Initiative, which has been around now for almost 5 years. And over the past couple of years, we've really started leaning into sustainability. So we've made a corporate net zero commitment. We're very excited about moving the crypto industry towards sustainability. And we're looking at how blockchain technologies can have a positive impact on the fight against climate change.
You talked about sustainability. What's Ripple's environmental sustainability strategy?
So our strategy has 3 pillars. First, we've made a corporate net zero commitment to be carbon neutral by 2030. That means reducing our emissions in our offices, in our travel, and with our vendors around the world. It also means purchasing high quality carbon offsets for the emissions that we haven't yet reduced. So we've made the 2030 commitment. We're on track for 2028, and we'll go even faster if we can. Secondly, we're trying to be industry leaders within crypto to ensure that blockchain and cryptocurrency are not contributing to higher emissions, but also so that those technologies can be deployed to be part of solutions as the world moves to a lower carbon economy. Finally, we're very excited about the application of blockchain in carbon markets. We think blockchain addresses some of the most persistent challenges in carbon markets around trust and transparency and liquidity, as well as efficiency and equity. And so we're very excited about the deployment of the XRP ledger by carbon removal companies and climate-focused fintechs to help scale and accelerate the activity in carbon markets.
Ken, you touched on this very briefly, but it's obvious Ripple's been working really hard within the blockchain and crypto industry to just push on initiatives to lessen the impacts of climate change. Can you talk about some more of the initiatives in a little bit more detail that are doing that?
Sure. And I should say that we're not sustainability or climate experts. And so we started within the community with NGOs and practitioners, carbon removers, entrepreneurs, innovators, to have our strategy be informed and led by the true stakeholders in the community. So from a philanthropic standpoint, we are funding projects that are being led by environmental organizations like Rocky Mountain Institute, the Lexicon of Sustainability. We're looking at things like, how does the data architecture for this marketplace need to change to accommodate explosions in demand, but also a real explosion in supply and a diversification of supply? Secondly, we are funding and collaborating with innovative carbon removal companies, as well as climate-focused fintechs who may be creating new marketplaces for carbon credits and other ecological projects. We're very excited about the work we're doing with some of the carbon removal companies who have a need to put their inventory. They're creating carbon credits and other products that are climate positive, and they're very excited about putting that inventory onto the blockchain. And so we're actively working with them to get those products onto the XRP ledger. We've also made a number of equity investments in those companies. We think that infusions of capital into carbon removal and into market architecture are going to give us a better chance to meet globally agreed climate fighting goals.
What's a carbon market? What does it do? Why do we need it?
So there are two kinds of carbon markets globally. One is a regulated market, which is governed by multilateral institutions and governments, and it's really for countries. There is an open marketplace called the voluntary carbon market, and that is more for buyers of carbon who are corporates and institutional investors who want to start to offset their emissions, and even in some cases offset historical emissions. So those buyers can go to market and choose from an array of carbon credits or other climate positive, carbon negative products, and they can pay anywhere from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars for those products. And what they're in essence doing is funding the liability that they have around the emissions that they have emitted or plan to emit over time. And it's a balancing act. And over time, the idea of carbon markets is that in funding those, in purchasing those products, we are injecting much needed capital into the most promising, scalable, climate positive companies and projects so that we can win the war against climate change.
You talked about carbon markets. Within a carbon market, ultimately you're getting a carbon credit. Can you explain how that works and what that is?
Sure. It's complicated, but in essence, a carbon credit is a unit of value. It's a product essentially that is tied to a ton of carbon that has been removed from the Earth's atmosphere. And depending on how much it costs to accomplish that, the carbon credit itself could be $5, it could be $500. So not cutting down a tree is pretty low cost, or planting a tree is pretty low cost. Doing years of R&D to develop a machine that sucks carbon out of the air and puts it into the ground, into geothermal systems forever, a little bit more expensive. So the credits that you're going to buy there are going to cost more. And it's not just carbon removal. There are other methodologies, both nature and science-based, that are really exciting. They're connected to things like air quality and soil biodiversity. Blue carbon is something that's happening in the oceans. There are also the Sustainable Development Goals, which touch on a number of sort of co-benefits to this climate positive activity, may have an impact on a poor country's ability to offset its debt by doing land stewardship and ecotourism and conservation. So we're going from a highly commodified market with a lot of forestry-based credits to a decommodified and broadly diversified market with lots of different kinds of nature and science-based activities, which in aggregate will accelerate our progress towards meeting 2050 climate targets.
Wow. Well, Professor Weber, what are you most excited about with all these things that you've covered? Ripple, you're getting involved in a lot and it's phenomenal. What excites you the most?
I mean, frankly, I'm excited about all the energy and some of the capital that follows that energy. The number of entrepreneurs and developers who are charging into this space to develop ideas and technologies that are going to help everybody and to make climate change less of an existential challenge. Both within Ripple, where engineers and marketers and corporate development folks, they're all coming forward to kind of work on these projects, to the proliferation of startups that are doing carbon removal, also fintechs that are now focused on carbon markets, and they're trying to help organize the financialization of carbon and of fighting climate change, which is expected to be one of the, if not the largest reallocation of both financial and human resources in human history.
That's phenomenal. Thank you.
Well, everyone, that's all I have for the video. Please put your thoughts, your comments down below. As always, thanks for watching.